Hi, welcome to Spec Hunter. When people think of Apple, the first names that come up are the flashy ones. The iPhone, the MacBook Pro, the iPad Pro, or maybe the Apple Watch. These products always get the spotlight because they represent Apple's most visible innovations. But in the background, there's another Apple product that has quietly become essential for millions of homes. That product is the Apple TV 4K. This small black box has never received the same attention as an iPhone or a MacBook, but it has built a reputation of its own. It is stable, polished, and it connects seamlessly with the rest of Apple's ecosystem. For many households, it has turned into the silent centerpiece of the living room. People rely on it daily for entertainment, but they rarely think about it. Now in 2025, Apple is preparing to give this small device one of its most important upgrades yet. And according to insiders, leaks, and supply chain whispers, this refresh will be more than just another spec bump. It might mark a major shift in Apple's approach to the streaming box market. The Apple TV 2025 could bring a price drop big enough to shake up the entire industry. It could also deliver a performance leap thanks to Apple's most advanced chips, and on top of that, it may feature a new wireless chipset that completely changes how the device works as a smart home hub. This makes the new Apple TV far more than just an entertainment box. It could become a foundation for Apple's living room strategy. To understand why this update is such a big deal, we need to look at the past. Unlike the iPhone, the Apple TV does not follow a predictable release cycle. Sometimes Apple updates it after 2 years, sometimes after 3 or more. The current model was launched in 2022, and while it brought meaningful changes, it wasn't revolutionary. That model introduced the A15 Bionic chip, which was the same processor powering the iPhone 13 lineup at the time. It added support for HDR10+, switched the Siri remote to USB-C charging, and came with a lower price than before. The changes weren't dramatic, but they made the Apple TV 4K more appealing, especially for people frustrated by clunky alternatives like Fire TV or Roku. But here's the thing. That was 3 years ago. And in the fast-moving world of chips, graphics, streaming, and smart home technology, 3 years feels like a lifetime. The 2025 Apple TV isn't just overdue. It's arriving at a moment when Apple faces intense competition. Not just from other streaming devices, but also from gaming consoles, smart displays, and new hybrid products. That is what makes this refresh feel so important. When it comes to design, don't expect a major change. Reports suggest the Apple TV 2025 will look almost identical to the 2022 version. It will keep the same small matte black square design, the simple Apple logo, and the understated look that lets you tuck it behind your TV and forget about it. Some people might find this boring, but Apple's logic is clear. The Apple TV isn't meant to be shown off like an iMac or carried around like a MacBook. It's a device you set up once and then barely see again. Apple already made it smaller and lighter in earlier generations, so making it slimmer now would add little value. The design is fine as it is. What really matters is what's inside. And this time, things get interesting. The current Apple TV runs on the A15 Bionic, which was great in 2022. But today, that chip feels dated compared to what Apple offers in its newest devices. That's why insiders believe the Apple TV 2025 will come with the A17 Pro, Apple's most advanced smartphone chip built on a 3nm process. This chip isn't just efficient. It is powerful enough to handle hardware-accelerated ray tracing and console-level gaming. On the iPhone 15 Pro, the A17 Pro already proved itself by running demanding games like Resident Evil 4 Remake and Death Stranding. Those games once seemed impossible on a smartphone, yet Apple made them run smoothly. Now imagine that same level of performance on a large 4K TV in your living room, with full controller support, no fan noise, and Apple's software polish. Suddenly, the Apple TV is no longer just a box for streaming movies. It quietly transforms into a stealth console. And this could be exactly what Apple has been aiming for all along. For years, people laughed at the idea of the Apple TV as a gaming device. Sure, it supported Apple Arcade, and yes, you could connect controllers, but the performance never came close to what gaming consoles could offer. That changes with the A17 Pro. If Apple puts this chip in the 2025 Apple TV, users could enjoy console-level titles on a device that costs under $100 and is smaller than a router. That's a massive shift. Of course, there's a catch. The A17 Pro is expensive to manufacture. Apple has always been cautious with how much it invests in Apple TV hardware. So there's a chance the company might choose the A16 Bionic instead, or even a version of the A18 chip expected in the iPhone 16. No matter what, though, performance will see a big leap. That means smoother streaming, quicker navigation, faster app performance, and for the first time, real gaming power inside an Apple TV. But performance isn't the only story. Another major upgrade is the new wireless chipset, codenamed Proxima. This is Apple's first in-house wireless controller for the Apple TV, and it could be a game changer. Proxima is expected to support Wi-Fi 7, which is the next big leap after Wi-Fi 6E. Wi-Fi 7 brings higher speeds, lower latency, and better stability when multiple devices are connected at once. In real terms, it means you'll see smoother 4K HDR streaming, less buffering, and more reliable connections for everything in your home. Proxima also improves Bluetooth, upgrading it to version 5.3. That means better efficiency, greater range, and more stability for AirPods, game controllers, and other accessories. And Apple is continuing its support for Matter, the universal smart home standard. Together, these upgrades could turn the Apple TV 2025 into one of the most powerful and reliable smart home hubs available. It won't just be a box for Netflix. It will be the brain that connects your entire smart home. Now let's talk about what might be the most shocking part of all, the price. For as long as it has existed, the Apple TV has been more expensive than its rivals. A Roku or Fire Stick could be bought for $50 or less, but Apple always priced the Apple TV closer to $129 or even higher. It was the luxury streaming device, meant for people who valued performance and wanted to stay inside Apple's ecosystem. That strategy may be about to change. According to reliable supply chain analysts, Apple is preparing to launch the 2025 Apple TV for under $100. If that happens, it could completely reset the streaming device market. At that price, the Apple TV would no longer be limited to die-hard Apple fans. It would suddenly compete directly with Roku, Fire TV, and Chromecast, but with the advantage of Apple Silicon, Wi-Fi 7, and deep ecosystem integration. If Apple really manages to pull this off, the Apple TV 2025 could become one of the best value Apple products ever. The question then is, when will it arrive? The most likely timeline points to late 2025, between September and December, during Apple's usual fall season. The 2022 Apple TV was announced quietly through a press release in October, and Apple could take the same approach again. But it could also share the stage with the iPhone 17 lineup in September, especially if Apple wants to highlight gaming and smart home features. Either way, the device should arrive before the holiday season, making it perfect for gift buyers. But to really understand the importance of the 2025 Apple TV, we need to zoom out and look at the bigger picture. This isn't just about streaming movies, or even gaming. This is about Apple's future in the living room. For years, rumors have suggested that Apple has been working on a hybrid device that combines the Apple TV, a HomePod speaker, a FaceTime camera, and even AI features. The idea is to create one product that handles streaming, video calls, music, and smart home control all at once. That device hasn't surfaced yet, but the Apple TV 2025 feels like a step toward that vision. By making it more powerful, more connected, and more affordable, Apple is laying the foundation for the next stage of its strategy. Even now, the Apple TV brings together Apple's services, from Apple Music and Apple Arcade to Apple TV Plus and Fitness Plus. It even supports FaceTime on the big screen using your iPhone as the camera. With the 2025 model, those connections become even stronger. In many ways, this might be the most important Apple TV ever made. For years, it was seen as a niche product for Apple fans willing to pay extra for polish. But now, with stronger hardware, smarter connectivity, and a lower price, it could finally become a mainstream product. For the first time, it may not just be the best streaming box for Apple users. It might be the best streaming box, period. For more videos like this, please like and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss an update.